Hey everybody, Danny at Danny's Guitar Hub here, and I'm here today to show you some open chords. These are going to be major chords, and I'm going to explain just how to play them and a little bit of theory behind them. So the chords we're going to look at today are going to be E, A, and D, all major chords. Now, a chord, in essence, is three or more notes strummed simultaneously. So every single note is going to be a part of a bigger picture. So what we're doing when we play a major chord is we are taking notes from the major scale and playing them all together. So first we're going to look at the E major. Now the E, when you play it, should look a little something like this. First, when we approach the guitar, you're going to take your index finger, the left hand, put it on the first fret of the the G string. And then you're going to want to take that middle finger and put it on the second fret of the A string. And then you're going to take your ring finger and put that on the second fret of the D string. Now, before you even strum it, you just want to kind of get a feel for it. You want your fingers all to be sort of towards the front of the fret. See, we got the fret here. You don't want to put it too far back, like say there, or in the middle. It's going to be easiest to get a full note sound when your finger is closest to the fret. So, we have those two right there on the second frets. They're kind of nudged together, and then adding the index finger on the G string on the first fret. And now you just want to make sure that none of your fingers are touching any other string. Your fingers can be touching each other, that's going to happen, but you don't want your finger to touch a string next to it. It'll end up muting it. So when you feel comfortable, you feel like you got your fingers in a good spot and you're pressing down. You shouldn't have to press down too hard. If you're straining, you're pressing down a little too hard. But it should be a comfortable, light press to the point where you get a note. All the notes sounding in unison together. Now also, when you're holding the guitar and pressing down on notes, it's good that the proper position is to have your thumb sort of on the middle of the back of the neck there. Maybe a little towards the top, but it's going to give you the most leverage to press down. It'll make it a little bit easier. Now sometimes my thumb wants to come over top, or maybe a little down further, but usually it wants to come over top. But it's good practice to take your thumb, even if you have to move it with your other hand, and put it back behind the neck. So if you're looking at it like this, you can't even see it. So go ahead and try strumming that. See, you hear a little bit of buzzing, or maybe a note isn't coming out clear. Stop, strum, listen, okay, go through each note, make sure they all are sounding clear. Now your next chord, we're going to look at the A major chord. What you do with this is what's really easy as far as switching between these two chords, which is going to be some of the good practice that you have, is switching between chords and getting it to a speed where you can play along with the metronome or whatever song you're playing. When you're switching between the E and the A, simple little way to play the A is you just take your index finger, we're in the E shape, take off the other fingers. Look, there's your index finger. Just move it up one fret to right there. And now, again, we're only going to be using the ring and middle finger. This time, what you want to do is probably have your index finger right in the middle there. And now we're going to put the middle finger on the second fret of the D string, and then the ring finger on the second fret of the B string. So if you're looking, it's kind of hard to see, I guess, from this angle, but should look something like this. All three of your fingers are going to be on the second fret. Except you want to get that E string open. So again, you want to be pressing down on the strings at a 90-degree angle. See, I had a little buzz in there. And just listen to each note. Make sure they're ringing out clear. And that's your A chord. So, taken from the A to the E, you're going to move ring finger down, 1 fret, add on the the index finger, goes down, and then you're going to add on the middle and the ring finger, and you got your E chord right there. And then over to the A, up, move those. And now when you switch to the D chord, your index finger is going to stay right there. Your D is going to start with the D string as the bass note, and you're going to take your index finger, leave it where it is. Now you want to add your middle finger to the second fret of the high E string, and then the ring finger to the third fret of the B string. And when you play the D chord, it's only going to be those 4 notes, those 4 strings, excuse me. Starting with the D. So there's the D chord right there. And then you can switch back to the A. Leave that index finger right where it is on the second fret. All you have to do is move your middle and ring finger up to the correct positions, all on the second fret, just on those 3 strings. And when you play the A, you want to start with the A string open. There's a little buzzing going on, so maybe one of my fingers, I think it's my ring finger, was hitting the G string. And then you can move to the E. E is your bass note. Got a little bit of buzz. Just want to keep going through. And anytime you hear a little bit of a buzz, or maybe the notes aren't coming out clear, just stop and try and pick out what note it is. What finger. So that is the E, A, and D major chords. Good practice for that is to just, once you feel comfortable with the positioning, try downstrokes. Do 4 strums with each chord. 4, switch. 2, 3, 4. Switch to the D. 2, 3, 4. Switch back to the A. 2, 4, E. And you can see my thumb is sticking out. I'm a bad teacher for doing that, but you know that your thumb should be back, behind the neck. So there you have it. There's a couple chords for you, and I'll come back with some more chords next week. Alright, enjoy.